MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell has released a new video detailing the evidence that Donald Trump won the election. The video is called Absolutely 9-0, referring to the Supreme Court's decision when they see this video. The video contains a cybersecurity expert and the irrefutable evidence that Mike Lindell has been talking about for so long and that has convinced Donald Trump that he will be reinstated in the White House this August. Mike Lindell is the guy that needs you to come over so you can show him how to use the remote control, but also wants you to believe he's the authority on technology. I need to record Tucker Carlson tomorrow, but it's Tucker Carlson tonight, so I don't understand. I'm having trouble. Mike Lindell's latest video that contains a cybersecurity expert has been trashed by actual cybersecurity experts and computer users and coders. Anyone with a computer can tell this is all rubbish.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, there's sound.
I'm Mike Lindell.
Put some audio over your titles, Mike. It's not that hard. I didn't think it was working there. And I gotta say, you know this video is going to be different. You know Lindell means business because it just says Mike Lindell. It usually says MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell. And he's like, I don't want any pillow affiliation right now. I want to be focused on the investigation. This means business. I don't want any fluff. I don't want any resting your head.
I'm Mike Lindell, and as you all know, on January 9th, I received evidence of a cyber attack orchestrated by China on our 2020 election. I took that one piece of evidence and I just went all in. This was something different nobody had seen. This was something that came through the machines, the Dominion machines, the Smartmatic and other machines. This was a cyber attack. I didn't know anything about cyber attacks.
He still doesn't know anything about cyber attacks.
And boy, I had to learn real fast. And I hired experts to validate this. These guys are white hat hackers that work for the government. But what I'm going to show you tonight is you're going to...
Dark room, computer. Create the mystique for all the people gobbling up this nonsense.
All know now why I have been 100% sure that when this gets before the Supreme Court, it's going to be 9-0. 9-0 to pull this election down, and that this was 100% an attack by China on our country through these machines. And with us right now is one of my cybersecurity experts.
Okay, so he's saying this is 100% an attack by China through these machines on America. 100% by China through these machines.
My cybersecurity experts. These guys are the best. And this guy has over 20 years of experience working in both the private sector and with government law enforcement and intelligence agencies.
These guys are the best. Okay, if you work for Mike Lindell in any capacity, you're not the best. We've seen his commercials, we've seen his website, we've seen his rallies, we've seen everything about Lindell. He doesn't surround himself with the best.
He has many information and cybersecurity certifications that specialize in advanced adversary detection, mitigation, and elimination.
These aren't things you put on your resume if you actually have skills.
And here he is now. Hello.
Where is he? See this guy?
Hello, Mike. Thanks for having me.
They blurred him out.
Thanks for all the work you've done for our country, and thanks for all the work you've done for myself. And I know I put yourself and many others through a couple months worth of work now just to get everything validated for our country.
Okay, the only reason he's blurred is because he's embarrassed to work for Mike Lindell. The only people associated with Republicans that need to be blurred, like that actually need to be blurred by law, are Matt Gaetz' girlfriends.
To show that this evidence is real. So what I'm going to go through, everybody, I'm going to start from let's start from January 9th. The stuff that these guys brought to me These guys were there the night of the election, and it was like taking a movie. I compared it to like taking a movie, and they have all this information, millions of lines
Taking a movie?
of data. Why don't we show that right now? Can you go ahead and say what we're watching here?
Yeah, that's essentially the raw encrypted data, and I mean that would run for the next couple of days. You know, that's the amount of data that we're dealing with here.
So what this contains here is what? What are the what
Yeah,
are
what
these?
is- what
this
are we
cyber
looking at?
forensics?
Tell us,
what are we
cyber
looking
expert
at? What are these called? I know you had told me before they're called like PCAPs or something.
Yeah, so PCAP is just an acronym for packet capture.
Let's take a look at what some of the experts have said. This person is a CEO at a tech company. He starts off by saying, so this Lindell PCAP thing is an amazing fractal of idiocy. Like, okay, where to even start with this? It starts by saying PCAPs can't be faked. No, not even close. PCAPs can not only be faked, but are regularly faked for training. But the idiocy doesn't end there. This is just the tippy tip of this Titanic of imbecility crashing into the colossal iceberg of nopes. Okay, so he's taken the very first frame from that video. This is from the very first frame actually shown of the alleged PCAP, in which the cyber expert talks about hashes. Fun fact, they're not hashes. This is just a stream of hexadecimal values. First things first, nobody in their right mind looks at PCAP files in a hex dump view. That's insane. There's a million better tools to view PCAPs. But Own All the Things points out really well, but then this is not intended to be easy for you to read. The file is never provided for independent audit. The data is shown in an intentionally illegible format to most readers. It starts randomly in the middle of the file, and then every time it's on screen, it scrolls quickly. It's a magician's sleight of hand, a graphic designed to imply hackers at work, aesthetically equivalent to green hacker text flowing vertically, or a person wearing a hoodie and inexplicably typing in the dark, all for the explanatory value for what they use it for. Like all that code in the Matrix, ooh, it's all code, it's all, wow, they're doing stuff. And it was later revealed that those were Japanese recipes. That's all they were. But to us, it's like, wow. It's true, I dye my mustache with Trump's whole hair. So what is it? It's not a PCAP, and it's not hashes, as the MyPillow cyber genius would have you believe. The geniuses at MyPillow & Co. crop the video so you can't see the final byte on each row, but you can decode it, and you get basically this. Now, they've blacked out the names, but the rest of the data is there. So what is it? TLDR. Too long, didn't read. It's voter roll data. What? Voter roll data? Oh no, you might think. Some hackers have got voter roll data. What clever exploit did they use to get it? And the answer is the clever 0-day known as 25PA.CS section 1404B1 Ensure Regulations, blah, blah, blah. Gotta love the old hacker technique. I downloaded some public records from the website, but also just incredible that even though they're literally downloading something, they still couldn't cobble together an actual PCAP file of, downloading it or something. Apparently they took 20 of these PCAPs. It took 4 to 6 weeks to validate them. Apparently they translate to this, and I have literally no idea how it takes you 4 to 6 weeks to take a PCAP, which again, what they're showing us is not extract the source IP and do a GeoIP lookup. Here are the targets. We've been told that each one of these was a successful hack that changed votes. The first of these addresses resolves to deltacountymichigan.org, which doesn't sound awfully like voting infrastructure. As far as I can tell, these are just web hosts. Unclear how compromising deltacountymi.org with a combination of credential/fire attack would let you change the number of votes Trump got. And I'm sure Amazon are going to be surprised at how many times their firewall got hacked through. Anyway, they end up with PCAPs of encrypted traffic and are somehow able to decrypt it to determine how many votes were flipped, and it turns out that all the voting data is kept on county websites, and also their PCAPs are actually just jumps of the PA voter rolls. They're not encrypted, and they're not packet captures. They contain no packet headers. They then explain, unfortunately, we're not given the destination port, but 198.108.253.104 isn't listening on anything other than 80 and 443. We're told that the packet data is encrypted, so presumably it's over HTTPS. So how did they decrypt this to figure out how many votes were switched? If Mike's hackers have broken TLS, well, they really didn't need to be dealing with this. We're also given some background information on how it's impossible to reconstruct packet captures after the fact, untrue, or that modifying them would change their hashes. True, but in the absence of known good hash values, that tells us nothing. But it's pretty clear that nothing we're shown actually demonstrates what we're told it does. In summary, yes, any Supreme Court decision would be 9-0, just not in the way he's hoping for. Update. It was pointed out that this data appears to be part of a larger data set. This one is even more dubious. It somehow has MAC addresses for both the source and destination, which is impossible, and almost none of these addresses are in actual issued ranges. And Mike Lindell said it's 100% China, and according to his own spreadsheets, that he says is the absolute. This is the absolute. If it's 100% China, the spreadsheet lists China, Great Britain, Switzerland, India, Russia, Denmark, Thailand, and Sweden. Grand total of 299,000, China at 123. So that's like 35% China. It's just ridiculous that people would see a spreadsheet and be like, well, it's a spreadsheet. Yeah, okay. So someone in his office has Microsoft Excel. It's not a hard thing to make. I said it before and I'll say it again. Mike Lindell, nuts.
The big win is they have to accept it to look at it, everybody. They have to accept it to look at it. Because once they look at it, it will be absolutely 9-0.
He's just eating up what his so-called expert is telling him. And when that information, like just the tiniest bit, got out, the actual experts took a look at it and said, this is so far off. These guys are just getting paid. They're telling Mike what he wants to hear so they can get a paycheck. It works for Lindell because the longer he keeps the big lie, keeps that dream alive, the longer he has his website that people are going to read all the junk, but the whole thing is just banners of ads for his products. So he's created something to sell more of his Egyptian cotton. What a snowflake you are. He doesn't need money, but you need testosterone shots. Open your eyes. MAGA tears. Tommy Campbell losing your man card. MAGA tears. Kids act more mature than you are. Grow up. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can find out about all my latest content. I'm a stand-up comedian. I have 3 albums on Spotify. You can stream them for free. That's a pretty sweet deal. I'm also on Cameo if you want to book me for a personalized roast or greeting. If you're out, please wear a mask. Be kind to each other. Have an awesome day.